Hey everyone, we're back. We have Warbirds and Classics. We have two different events that Saul went to. We have a crash in a cornfield. We have beautiful giant scale warbirds that people have spent a lifetime on, and then they just throw them in the air. I say it's like having a $32,000 El Camino from 1968, and then you just fly it about 400 feet over the ground and see what will happen.
That's exactly right, Jim. Yeah, you just get it up there and just hope for the best. Hope you can bring her back in one piece. And I tell you that the Warbirds over Hagerstown, that was really neat. I have to, I'm gone to Hagerstown a lot over the past 20 years. My mother-in-law was about 8 minutes away from the field, which I didn't even know the
Okay.
field was that close. And they're both these flyings we're going to talk about today, folks. They are small, but they all, sometimes the small ones always have some of the neatest airplanes that come along, and this was no exception. One of the great things about this, before we start looking at the videos, Jim, this had to be the largest field I have ever seen.
Really? Well, that's
Yeah,
good.
you and I have been to Triple Tree. We know how
Yes.
big it is. We know it's massive. This
Yeah.
thing was probably almost twice the size of Triple Tree. It was huge. The cornfield made it look small, but when that corn was gone, and I was chatting with one of the members there, when that corn is gone, Jim, it is massive. Because corn's, we're talking about the Appalachian, right around the Appalachians, which is the western part of Maryland, and it was just absolutely
Okay.
huge. I mean, as you could see the field for as far as the eye could see, and it was just really nice. So the get together was nice. Let's do this. Let's start off, if you don't mind, with the gentleman. Let's go with. I tell you what. Let's go with the crash. Let's start with the biplane crash, if you
Okay.
don't mind. Well, let's jump into that because I want to talk about that gentleman for a moment, if you don't mind. I know we're kind of, maybe starting off on a big note, but that's okay. I felt horrible for this gentleman. Let me let the plane happen. I'm sorry. Link here.
Well, oh, okay. I'm going to hit some audio, y'all.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Hi friends, welcome to the Plain Fun RC channel. I'm your host Saul. We're here at Warbirds and Classics over Hagerstown. Got a great looking Fokker D7, right? Fokker D7. Great looking scheme you can see there, folks. Really nice looking, just fantastic. We're in for a special treat. So folks, sit back, relax, put on your flying scarf, and enjoy the flight. All right, folks, continue our coverage here of that wonderful Fokker. Great looking Fokker. Folks, throughout the video, you might hear me going ahead and humming or singing a song to drown out the music in the background. They're playing some great music here, but it is copyright protected, and YouTube has strict copyright laws. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight. Oh, heads up, heads up. Oh, heads up, heads up, heads up. Ooh, okay. All right. Well, let's go check on that. We'll be right back. All right, folks. Looks like everything's okay. Just went behind the cars and everything, so looks like we're all right for the time being. No one got hurt. That's the important piece. So that's.
So I was obviously that's always a little bit of scary when it hits through the pits and everything like that. And I felt so sorry for the jump. He felt terrible, but here's the thing about this gentleman. He was a really nice guy, and if you're in this hobby long enough. I've been doing it for 48 years. You will have a day like this gentleman, the very bad, horrible, awful day, where you bring, in this case, 3 airplanes to the field, and all 3 crash, and it just makes for just one of those days that you just never forget. And I've had that happen, and that is a day that's with you forever. So he was really upset about that. He felt terrible about that, and everything. But he brought some wonderful aircraft with him. Really neat aircraft, as a matter of fact. Go ahead, Jim.
I have a few comments. A, always when you build a plane, put a trash bag in the back so you'll have something to put the plane in when it's over. B, if you're at an event, especially an event, even if you're just flying at the field, you need to always keep your eyes open because you'll almost never know when that plane is coming at you. I've almost been hit like 6 times, maybe more than that. And no one ever said a word until it was too late, so keep your eye open. And B, check this out. Maybe I'm wrong here. It looks to me like his elevator is, I've got my mouse right here. His elevator on the right side is straight and the elevator on the left side is cranked down. Am I wrong?
It's a little hard to see. You got the line there, so it's hard
right
to tell. We probably have to come back a little bit. You might be able to see it a little bit better. It's a possibility. It's a possibility there, but I think he said he just pulled up too soon.
Okay.
But a talented builder, Jim. Not only did he have this great airplane, he had one of the other airplanes there that's on the list we're going to showcase today. But what was really interesting, he took one airplane, which I think he said was a SIG spacewalker, or something like that, and he wound up converting it like to two different airplanes. And there's a picture of it there. Let's see if we scroll. I guess if we scroll, there it is. That's the one right there. Come up just one, Jim. Right there, that gentleman. That airplane, I think, started out as a SIG spacewalker, and he converted to two different airplanes over the I think he said like 15 or 20 years he's had it, and now it's a Russian bomber. And I got a good flight with him. I got a video of a great flight with him, but then the second flight he wound up putting in the cornfield. So
I also want to say, I make it sound maybe accusatory. Everyone's going to crash. There's only three kinds of pilots: those that have crashed, those that will crash, and those that are crashing right now. So don't get me wrong.
Right. That's exactly right, Jim. That's exactly right. Excuse me. But anyway, go ahead.
What is next?
So let's go to our good friend Phil Camp. Let's jump to that. Good old Phil, Legend Hobby. Let's be honest. Legend Hobby has been making some great airplanes, Jim. Fantastic. They've got this bird dog. And Phil is just immensely talented as a pilot, as a builder. And one of the things that's great about this bird dog is that if you're someone that loves Cessna, loves Warbirds, man, you're not going to get any better than this. They've got it in three sizes: 98 inch. This is the new 120. They've also got it in 150 inch. And I'm telling you, they're fantastic airplanes. They really are a high quality. You go to their website. I mean, I would definitely say that Legend Hobby right now, in terms of scale aircraft, is really the place to go. They have probably the most diverse selection out there. And this bird dog is just the best. I would strongly recommend anyone out there, if you're looking for something unique, you don't want something that you have to spend a lot of time building, definitely go get this, because I've seen all three sizes, and they're just great flyers. And man, they'll take off in the smallest field. They'll land as slow as possible. And he's got bombs strapped to the wing. And he just did a great job dropping the bombs. And the fun part about it were the kids going through chasing after the bombs after they dropped. So it's just a pleasure always going out there. When Phil's out there, you're in for a real treat, not only in terms of the airplane, but in terms of of him flying it. And it's just something, it's a really stop and look when he's out there.
Right. And man, what a builder. This guy is always building something.
Exactly. And you can if you go on the channel, I know we showcased it before, did that beautiful job with the Legend Hobbies B-17. He took that as it's an ARF, and I mean, he just really just took it up a whole nother level. So it's really great,
We have a whole build thread on that on Flying Giants as well.
Absolutely. It's a great build thread. Let me see who else we've got. Let's go ahead. Why don't we take a look at some of the corn crash? Let's go ahead and go right to that corn crash. We got two little crashes there. We've got our let's see, towards the top of the list there, Jim. There we go. I think the corn crash is
that guy. Is that it?
Should be that. I think so. That should be it. Yep. I got to be honest with you. While you're doing the video here, and we're working our way to the actual crash portion. So this was real. I was actually really excited to go out to this flying, not only because it was close to where my mother-in-law lives, and it's a beautiful area and everything like that. But when I was speaking to one of the gentlemen that usually goes, I said, "Are you taking an airplane?" He says, "No, the corn's going to be really high." And the first thing that popped in my mind is corn crash.
Corn crash.
Because anytime you go online, you see any of these planes, RC planes that go into the corn. It's pretty dramatic a lot of times. It just disappear, So,
and they will stab right through an airplane.
Yes. But what's so crazy about that is I will tell you, one of the guys said it, and I have to agree with him. I'd much rather crash in the corn into a thick forest, because you hit that tree, you're going to have some real problems. Yeah, at least with the corn, to a certain degree, it's going to cushion the blow. And it did in this case and everything. But the pilot is a great pilot. He's a phenomenal 3D pilot. He was doing some 3D noontime demo. That's who was flying. He just, when we get to that portion where he's landing, and if you want to go right to that portion towards the end there, Jim, you'll see that he just gets that little bit of runway that just happened to just cause that plane to pop up. I'm going to be quiet and let you get some sound.
Hold on. He's just barely on that wing, too. You can tell. Here we go. Oh, he's going around.
Into the corn. Oh my goodness, folks.
That's good.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see what comes out of the corn.
All right.
Oh, I have the audio off.
That's fine. Oh.
Yeah, we can talk.
Okay, so he wasn't that deep in there, and you can see came out nose gear a little banged up, but he did a great job. I was really happy to see that, but yeah, I thought, boy, if the corn wasn't there, he probably could have had some altitude, would have saved it, even though he was losing speed. I think it would have been one of those really low level, holy mackerel, he saved it moments, but it worked out really well. So, and then we have another one there. GB, we'll just do a quick one on that GB at the very end.
I love a GB. I don't know if you know that.
Yes. Oh my goodness. I'm right now. I'm looking. I think I've got about 3 in the house, in one form or another.
Where is that?
But yep. Keep going up there a little bit more.
Oh, there
we go. Right there. Yeah. So this is Thomas. Thomas is the current owner of the Mack Hodges B29. Oh, okay. Here we go.
Okay, I'm gonna go. Did we slow motion this thing?
Yeah. There's some slow motion towards the end. But he's the current owner of the B-29. He's also a full-scale airline pilot as well. Oh, I forgot to add some title there, didn't I? Okay, well.
Hey, this is me and every news broadcaster. I'm like, whoops.
That's why you have to preview your videos after you put them on YouTube. Oh, my goodness.
Let me ask you this while we're watching.
Go ahead.
You upload from the field? You usually upload me on a weekend. Is it from the field?
No, I have to get back to high speed because the problem is that cellular just doesn't have the speed. Maybe one day, 50, 60 years from now, cellular will be as fast as Wi-Fi, but that's just not the case. So I've got to get back because we're shooting in 4K, 4K 60 frames per second. There's a lot of data there that has transferred over and everything. But this is the GB Sportster you can get it from Legend Hobby as well. This is the version 2, by the way. This has the hatch, and the nice thing about the hatch towards the front of the cockpit, whereas the original version didn't have it, is because you can now go ahead and go electric and do it really easy. And it's a great flyer. It's a really great flyer. So if you're interested in the GB, I've got this one. I can attest it to how it's built. It is just fantastic. Seagull Models does a great job, and you can get it from legendhobby.com if you need to.
And for everyone, I'm going to link this to a feature article below, and that will have all the videos, all the links, and all the information that we're talking about. You don't even have to worry about it. I had an idea, Saul.
Yes, sir.
What if flying events used copyright-free music for the whole event? Or what if YouTube had whole soundtracks? And then when you're at an event, you just play the YouTube soundtrack. That way, when you and I do this, we're not, they don't penalize us or copyright infringement or anything.
Well, here's what's so crazy. And I just discovered this recently. So if you go to youtubestudio.com, okay, which is their YouTube studio version where you can, if you've got an account, you can upload your video, edit, do whatever it is you need to do. They have just added, not too long ago, maybe it might be, well, it seems like it's recent because it wasn't there before. They have AI that'll generate music, and you can get up to a minute at a time. It's actually not bad. And I did download one, but it was all right. It wasn't great. I mean, you can keep going back as many times as you need to have it generate something different if you need to. But it's super easy. You just go in there, you put in, you type in, give me something fast and happy, give me something for building, give me something sad, whatever it is, and give it about 30 seconds. Bam, you got a 1-minute song right there.
That's awesome.
Yeah, which is really great. And it's there's no licensing or anything of that nature, so you can use it. But I just did what I've done before. I put a song together, threw it up on my other YouTube channel, Gas Food Music, and I just use that to see if there's any copyright strikes. If there isn't, great. Then I throw it on to onto one of my videos, and that works out really well. So
I love it.
Yep.
Is it time to change
Yes,
events?
sir. Let's go ahead over to PGRC. which just happened this past weekend. It was a 2-day event. I could only be there for 1 day because on day one, I only got about 5 videos, as I mentioned to you, Jim, because it just started to downpour, and it was a beautiful day, blue skies, and we're calling for any rain, but all of a sudden this heavy storm just came through. And that was pretty much it. And I wound up not being able to go back the second day. But nonetheless, why don't we go ahead and start off with the gentleman with the jet? I tell you, this guy was a great pilot. I love a good 3D jet pilot, and this gentleman was really just, I mean, phenomenal. You know, the stuff you can do, the stuff you can do with the jets nowadays in terms of 3D is just fantastic.
We'll turn some audio on so you can hear that thing being a jet.
See, got a Skywing Falcon here, fantastic, great looking jet. This will be a lot of fun. One of the things I love about these jets, look at that hatch there, folks. Look at how the whole entire hatch just comes off from the nose to the vertical stabilizer. That's a little hard because the gentleman's in the way, but nonetheless, that is always the most interesting thing about these models. You're seeing more and more aircraft have that functionality, so it really gives you full access to all aspects of the radio, the fuel system, everything that you need, and it's just fantastic. So folks, we're in for a special treat, so sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight.
Oh, okay, hold on everybody, let's not do that.
Winds of about 10 miles an hour, folks. You can see it's blowing a little bit, but the skies are gorgeous. Here we go. One of the nice things about the event, folks, is we've got an AMA altitude limit now, just for the event only, of 700 feet. So I think some pilots are going to be reaching for the stars.
You're right there.
Very nice.
Yeah, he was a great pilot. It was always enjoyable to watch him fly. I've seen him do some of the other 3D stuff as well. But and then of course we have the crash of the DH2. That's really the other highlight for that one right there. You know, as I said, I was chatting with the pilot on this one, and here, let me let this play out real quick. Okay, so I was chatting with the pilot on this one, and you know, he was getting the aircraft ready, putting on the wings and everything. He had gotten it from a friend, a close friend who had passed away not long after he had finished.
Oh,
he
no!
Didn't get a chance to see the maiden. So he said, you know, every time he's been flying for, I think, for like 15 years, and he says every time he flies, he thinks of his friend and he hopes his friend can can see the plane, flying, which I thought was a really sweet gesture and everything. And, I meant to go, I really wanted to get a photo of it before and some video, but I made the grave error that when you shoot video, you should never make, which is assuming the plane will be there when it lands, it's intact. And that's not the case and everything. He was obviously, disappointed. But boy, it was a gorgeous plane. I'm sorry I didn't get video of it from the get-go. I was actually finishing up shooting one plane, and he was out taxiing on the runway, getting ready to take off. So it was just a last-second grab that I did when I went ahead and got him taking off and going in the air. But it was gorgeous. It was a really gorgeous plane. It was a single-seat DH-2 de Havilland bomber from World War I pusher. Had a great-looking OS 1.6 flat twin as a pusher. And so it was a really good size plane. But, I mean, tip to tail, this thing was almost museum quality. It was that well done. It was really good. But go ahead, Jim, when you're ready.
I have one thought and one idea.
Yes, sir.
Whenever we do reviews, I always say shoot the photos first, just because there may be nothing to shoot in a minute. And this plane just gave me an idea. What if, when you die, that's me, you, anyone out there, and you want to be cremated, what if you save some of your ashes, put it in like a plane like this, then you hand it down to a fellow pilot. You never know when it's going to crash, but when it does, that's when they spread your ashes upon the It might be 15 years later. You don't know. Just a thought.
You know what's so funny? You know what's so funny about that, Jim? If I can just add for 1 second. So, Triple Tree Aerodrome has, and I'm sure you know this, but for the folks that are watching may not know this, they have an 85% scale Cub that was built for that sole purpose of spreading ashes.
I did not know that.
Yes, and so if you ever get a chance to go to Triple Tree, anyone who's watching, and you walk in, you see the big, giant 85% scale Cub, you'll see there's a large black tube underneath. They put the ashes in the cockpit, climb to altitude, and then release the ashes. Now, if it's too windy, they do have the Hangar 9 carbon Cub, the 165-inch span, that they also converted for that as well. So, so if you ever want your ashes spread, you can always reach out to Triple Tree Aerodrome. They're going to charge you a fee, and the plane will climb up and spread your ashes, So
who knew? That is awesome. All right, on with the crash.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to hit the audio and crank it up, and here we go.
Welcome to the Plane Fun RC channel. I'm your host, Saul. We are here at the Big Bird Warbird Fly-In 33rd Annual. Folks, we got a DH2 in the sky right now. Up, 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 up. Oh,
that was real.
Up, 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 up. Oh.
Wow.
Oh my goodness. I was going to share with you some history on the plane while we're waiting here for the folks to head out there and gather up the plane. Chatting with the pilot. This belonged to a friend of his who passed away just before he had a chance to actually fly the plane.
Fast forward to wreckage.
You know.
That plane is crashed.
Yeah, it's interesting. When he brought it back, it did crash in such a way where really, it wasn't that bad. The front of it was obviously very crushed. But I think if you're a very talented builder, you could take it home, and it would take a little bit to rebuild it. The wing was really pretty much fully intact, obviously, except for the ailerons, as were the rear control surfaces. And you can see it right there. If you pause for 1 second, you can see how the front is really crashed. The wing is not that bad. I mean, you can tell. I mean, you've got that very unique fuselage back there, which is just an open frame, and that was a little obviously off center, but it wasn't really that bad. I think fortunately it wasn't a super fast moving aircraft, and you can see, I mean, obviously there's a lot to be done there to fix it. But it really isn't a complete loss. I think it would take a couple months to get it back to being what it is, or what it was. I mean, And but you know, it was a really shame. It's a gorgeous airplane. It really was. I wish I had gotten some photos of it before he crashed it and everything. But
Oh,
kudos to him. This is the same gentleman, Jim, when I talked about the previous flying at PGRC, who was fortunate enough to find that SR-71 at the
right.
estate sale
Okay.
and got it for free. So he always has some very interesting airplanes. Anytime I ever tend to fly, and he's always bringing something very interesting. And so yeah, and
I
I
see the
think that's
rain
pretty
coming
much.
in.
Go ahead, sir.
I saw the rain coming in that into that
Yes,
video
the
right
walk
there.
around. Yeah, yeah. If you go to the walk around, you can see it. At the very, it's at the very beginning. I mean, if you just go right to the walk around, you'll see it's the Russian plane, that's there. If you want to see show the rain or anything like that.
Well,
But
let's take a look at this. I always think
sure,
that glider tows are something most people never get to see unless you're in the hobby.
absolutely, absolutely. And on this one too, before you turn up the audio. So
Yeah.
this was the he was using an old style Hangar 9 Cub from the early 2000s, and this was the Fox glider, powered glider. I'm going to say FMS. I think FMS came out with it not that long ago. But he left the power off and used it as a tow. So it's one of the giants, kind of, well, let's call it pretty much a giant scale glider. Not massive, but big, but definitely very big. And it's always really cool. I think RC towing, aero towing, is really one of the neatest things. I mean,
I
it
do
really
too.
takes some real skill and real good communication between the pilot and the of the powered plane and the glider. Because folks, you need only to go online and watch some of the videos of glider tows gone bad. And let me tell you, they can go bad really fast. You know, really fast.
I was
And
always aware of the JR Aero tow,
yes,
and
yes, exactly.
back in the Hobby Lobby days when I worked there, we were able to go. I think it was the Neat Fair,
Hmm.
but David said, "Hey, we're going to go to this hangar where they fly sailplanes." I had no idea what he meant. It was exactly like the Aerotow. I got in a sailplane and it was hooked
Right.
to a full scale plane, and
Hmm.
they pulled us into the sky,
Hmm.
dropped the hook, and
Hmm.
this guy, he let me fly a little bit, but he was doing loops and rolls, and there were mountains everywhere, and there were planes all around us as well. It was mind blowing.
Yeah, yeah, it's very cool. Matter of fact, at Triple Tree for a long time, they had a winch. They had a glider, and they had an actual glider winch, much like you might use, say, for an RC where you just pull it back and then release it. They had
Right.
a full scale glider with a glider winch that would pull this glider so hard that it would get it up in the air, so you could climb around and glide around and land. But
Sounds
anyway, you can see how
dangerous.
they've got it set up here. It's a very simple setup. They've got a wiffle ball at the end to help stabilize the line so it doesn't whip around, and then it's just a matter of applying throttle and then just making sure your turns are very gradual, very much in sync, and they really did a beautiful job. You'll see. Let me let this play out and watch how they turn.
I bet there's a lot of pitch in that prop.
In the distance, folks, I can hear the pilots communicating. They're even communicating when they start to climb and when they start to turn. If you watch the planes closely, you'll see that they also tend to turn at the same angle in terms of the turn, meaning one is not exceeding the other. And they're doing a fantastic job. It's only the second time they've done this. Release. Look at that, folks. Stellar job. Look at that. Awesome. Very good. And that's actually a powered glider, believe it or not. He said he's going to try to fly it without turning the motor on, so this will be great.
So if
There
you
you go. There you go.
if you were doing good, you could catch a thermal and then maybe stay up, 20 minutes or so. Who knows?
Matter of fact, Jim, just to let you know, with regards to Hagerstown, because it's so close to the Appalachians, if you go just a little bit further west, almost close to, say, like right around about West Virginia, Western Maryland, West Virginia, right around that area. That area, there is a club out there that does fly giant scale RC gliders because you've got that tremendous lift coming off the mountains. And so I don't remember the exact name of it. I've seen some pictures of it on Facebook, but I think that's really cool. You see that a lot in Germany. You know, when you look at some of the videos where they do a lot of giant scale gliding, and I was really impressed that they have that right here in Maryland, because those mountains, I tell you, Jim, traveling west, heading out to Flight Fest, had to go through the Appalachians, and boy, there was one point I was 2,600 feet above sea level. So you've got a lot of space there in which to go ahead and fly a glider. But yeah, it was really neat to see that. You know, small turnout, but it's always fun. And folks, I tell you, these are some great clubs. So don't be afraid to check them out. Head out there. You know, I know that I think he might have been the club president. I might have been talking to it at Hagerstown. You know, he's really interested in growing the event. And I can tell you, folks, it's a great place to go. You know, and these are really, really wonderful clubs. So, and that's it, Jim. Just something short and sweet. But folks, make sure to check back with Jim in a couple weeks, because this is what we got coming up. We got Null in the fall, and my name is Saul.
Saul at Null in the fall.
There you go. Very good.
If you want a link to any of these events, they are in the feature articles that will be linked below in this video. And, you know, you could find out about the next event they're having at one of these two places. So that was the PGRC Big Bird Warbird Fly-In, as well as Warbirds and Classics over Hagerstown. I'm going to say hello to everyone on Flying Giants, RC Groups, and maybe somebody from Heli Freak. You never know. Saul, man, thanks for all that you do and all your hard work.
Absolutely, my friend. I enjoy this. And Jim, it's always such a pleasure to be with you. And folks, make sure to go ahead and support Flying Giants RC Groups. Pass along to your friends, because these are the best websites in RC today, period.
Hit all the buttons below. Keep us, get us some good views on this. Make comments, ask questions, because we'll be back and we might answer them. Thank you, Saul.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.